So I mentioned the Volpe stuff a little bit, and this would be interesting because I saw, and Joel Sherman for I believe it's the New York Post brought it up. And so I don't know, you've been seeing the videos, and I tweeted out a funny one that Jose Caballero and Jazz Chisholm Jr. playing up the middle would be a
I would
nice
love
thing to
that.
see, and we'd like to see that maybe a majority of the time, given how Anthony Volpe played last year. But it does offer like an interesting wrinkle of maybe them with the service time.
Yep.
I would. I'm going to preface this by saying I think that my gut would tell me that they are going to bring Volpe back in and want him to play. They've put him on bus ads. They put him here, there, everywhere. I
Hmm.
think they've
Yeah.
invested a lot
Forgot
in
about
him.
that.
Um, but it is interesting. I think it's valid to bring up because the Yankees are known to want to manipulate things and have things play in their favor. Most recently being the Trent Grisham thing, people are maybe theorizing that they didn't expect him to accept the qualifying offer, and that if he did go, they would maybe get a an extra draft pick, and maybe and there's I think Michael K
Yeah,
throughout
I
that
think they
theory.
inevitably wanted Trent, honestly, but there
Yeah,
is the possibility. We don't know.
that's the thing. That's why I'm saying it's a little bit of a conspiracy theory, if
Yeah,
you will, if you
that's
will.
fair.
But okay, so Joel Sherman brought this up. I think it was either on maybe one of his articles or maybe one of his recent podcasts. So under the current structure, if Anthony Volpe then comes back in, he sits right now. He sits at 3 full years of MLB service. So under the current structure, he would be eligible for free agency after the 2028 season. And if he comes back, that's just going to then keep that on par and keep that on lock. But if they were to once Volpe is healthy enough to be activated, the Yankees could option him to AAA for at least 20 days, and the brief stint would push the free agency back a full year, giving the Yankees control through the 2029 season rather than 2028. So that's an interesting thing, Tyler. It is only 20 games, so is I don't think it's the craziest thing to think like come May or June or whenever Volpe's kind of on track to be back. Is that what they're going to do? I wouldn't I would if there was like an ability to bet on that, I would sprinkle a little bit. I could see
Yeah.
them saying that, and they could format it as, hey, we want Volpe to get back into AAA. We want him to sort of get himself right, get himself better, and that's what they should have done a while ago. But maybe this is just the instance where they're like, oh, we can get an extra year of eligibility before he's a free agent. We should totally do that. So I don't think it's the craziest thing, but that's just me. I don't know what your thoughts are.
No, I wouldn't hate it either way. If they if they, I mean, I don't think anyone would hate it either way if they tried to manipulate Volpe's service time a little bit, because at the end of the day, that's a way they can kind of meander themselves out of like benching him, but not really benching him, or moving on from him, but not really moving on from him. Um, because then they could potentially point to poor play or, X, Y, and Z. So I think it kind of saves like them PR wise from like, we know the Yankees hate to publicly demote anyone in any
Yes.
way, shape, or form. So that could be a chance of that.
Hmm.
It's one of those things I can't believe until I see it. Um, because again, one of the first things that came out of your mouth was the bus ad. That's a real thing, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I think one of the reasons like a lot of teams didn't want to go after Kyle Tucker this year, kind of including the Yankees, is he's not like this bus ad marketable player type of dude, which is what the Yankees are trying to mold into Anthony Volpe, right? So they have their eggs in that basket. So do I think they're going to expel him to AAA forever? No. Could I see them manipulating service time? Sure. We'll
Yeah.
kind of see where that takes them.